Hey summer adventure friends, how we doing today? Mr. Berquist here. You've already seen some dynamite videos put together by Mr. Stein about camping and outdoor survival and starting a fire. Today we're going to do a different type of fire and a little bit of history lesson. I'm going to show you a Swedish torch. So here's what a Swedish torch looks like. You can see it's one log with perpendicular cuts made through it that go about 3/4 of the way down into the log. And they're called Swedish torches because they originated back in the 17th century in Sweden, and the Swedish soldiers were the first to use these in the 30-year war. And they used it because they needed to save their firewood, not burn through a lot of it, right? Keeping their resources, and also needed a way to transport things easily and to be able to cook. So when you put all that together, they developed the Swedish torch so they could have light at night, they could have fire to, keep them warm, and they could cook on it. So I'm going to show you how they did this. All right, here we go. All right, people, so here's how, this is not how they did it in the 17th century, but here's how we are going to start these torches. What you do is in these cuts that you can see, again, they go about 3/4 of the way down the log. We're going to put in some newspaper and some small sticks, all right? Small sticks and some newspaper, and we're going to layer them so that we start that on fire and it'll start burning from the inside out. Eventually this log will slowly burn from the top down, which is why it's such an efficient way to cook and also to provide heat. Okay, in the 17th century they would find dry twigs and things like that, kind of like the sticks we have, and they'd cram them in there, and that's how they'd start it. So with the help of my son Rhett,
hi,
we're gonna get this filled. So here's how we do it. So put in the newspaper. So what we do is, see, he pushed it down in the crack there. Whoops, great camera work. And then I'm gonna layer a stick there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make plenty of layers, and then we'll get this thing started. All right, everyone, so we've got our Swedish torch loaded here. Sticking true to the 17th century tradition, I'm gonna use a campfire starter here. Just like they had in the 17th century.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start it up. I'll check in a couple different times, but what will happen here is this wood will start on fire on the top, and it'll slowly sink down into the wood, starting a good fire in there, and then it'll burn. Generally speaking, these will burn for like 2 to 5, maybe 6 hours, depending on the type of wood you have and obviously the size of the log. So they would provide heat and cook food for quite a good amount of time. Yeah, I'll show you a couple different shots as we go through and as it starts to burn down so you can see how it works. The really cool thing about this is I have it in a fire ring here, you can see, just so I don't have to clean it up in my driveway. But why the soldiers liked it and why these are so useful is you can start it on wet ground. You can really have these just about anywhere because they'll burn down, and then you can just put it out and you can move on. So, all right, here we go. So as you can see here, people, we've started a nice little fire on top with all those little sticks. And now that we've got a fire going up top, I removed some of the sticks from the bottom because it's a little wetter and I wanted to get better airflow. But you can see, so because the fire started on top here, it has now started to go in between there. And once that really starts to burn and those 4 pieces start going up, we'll be able to clear off the top, and that's where we'll be able to cook something. So I'll keep you posted. We're about 5 to 7 minutes in on this. All right, folks, we're a little bit further into the process. You can see now how it's a flat top for cooking, so you can cook on this thing. You can see how the flames are coming up from out the sides. There's airflow going there. So the air will keep it going even if you set a kettle or a pot on top that you could cook with. So yeah, the fire is raging, the torch is going, and you can see that, again, that top is nice and flat. It's ready for cooking, and it's ready to provide heat and light afterwards. So I'll give you one more update here once it's burnt way down, and it'll be great. All right, hey gang, all right, I got this pot of water here, just like they had in the 1600s. It's identical, and we're gonna put it on the Swedish torch, and we're gonna see if it boils. I'm gonna do a time lapse so that you know I'm not cheating, okay? Because I mean, I wouldn't trust this face. All right. All right, folks, you can see we've got our boiling water. So now we just need to make some mac and cheese and call her a day. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.